having some drops. Davante Adams is already frustrated. 3 games in, he's already addressing the media with frustration. Those things, it matters.
I've been champing at the bit to talk about this, so I jumped the gun. But now we're up to it. Davante Adams.
Yes.
He's not happy with the start. Listen to him.
Frustrated and angry. Expect more. And I mean, it's not easy to win in this league, so we know that, and nobody's naive to the fact that it's not. Nobody's just going to lay down and just give you a victory. But at the end of the day, we expect more, and we'll do it better as we move forward.
History not on the Raiders' side. In the Super Bowl era, only 6 teams have made the postseason after an 0-3 start. Most recently, the 2018 Texans. The 2 ended up winning their division, and only one won a playoff game, a single playoff game. Jeff, is Davante, you think, regretting leaving Aaron Rodgers in that NFC North, the cozy confines?
I don't know if regret is the word quite yet. He ain't happy. So when you go from winning 13 games a year to over your first 3, you don't even understand how to lose. But it mounts quickly, and now you're having, Mac Hollins has become the kind of go-to receiver who's making the catches because you're going to get draped, and with Hunter Renfrow, the injury, I can tell you he is not in a good place. He's not in a healthy place mentally right now. He's got to find his way. Losing is painful, and when you aren't accustomed to it, the attitude, all the things that happen do not bode well.
Gross, I think that there's a tendency, like Derek Carr checks all the boxes. If you have him, you're not looking for a quarterback because he does everything you need him to do. But I think there's a tendency to kind of go past at what level is he checking the box, right? He ain't Aaron Rodgers.
No, there's no Aaron Rodgers. Nobody is going to put the ball exactly in the exact 1 square inch spot it's supposed to be in every single time. That's an unattainable standard.
Right.
Davante Adams did not go to the Raiders because he was upgrading at quarterback. He went to the Raiders because Derek Carr is his friend, and the Raiders were willing to give him the contract he was looking for. So, does he regret it? No, probably not. Like, from a competitive standpoint, sure, but there are other factors at play here.
Right. And he thought Aaron was going to leave.
Yeah.
Or leave sooner rather than later.
But, dude, I tell you, I covered the Giants the last 3 years of Tom Coughlin. I've been around some 0-3 teams and 0-4 teams. It stinks.
Oh. Yeah.
They are miserable there right now. Like, it's a whole summer of anticipation. Now you're a month in before you even win a game. It can be really tough.
And when you got a brand new head coach, the culture in the room, in the locker room, has not been set yet. This is not like you contrast Daboll and what's happening with Josh McDaniels right now. The pain is palpable. Because the Raiders made the playoff, right? They make the playoffs last year. They fire their guy. They bring a brand new guy in, and you're over. That is painful.
And the players love that coach.
Yes.
Bisaccia, what was wrong with Listen, Jeff Van Gundy took over for Pat Riley. He started winning. They left him alone. He was supposed to be an interim coach. Same thing with Eric Spoelstra, because Pat Riley is a guy that understands how to do this. And it's not the same thing, obviously, with the Raiders' ownership. And, certainly not with the son, but maybe it would have been the same with the father. I don't know. Who's most to blame for the Raiders' 0-3 start, Ross?
I think it's the pass rush. The offensive line we knew was going to be an issue for the Raiders, but they only have 2 sacks in 3 games. This was supposed to be a dominant unit with Chandler Jones and with Max Crosby coming off the edge, and they just haven't generated that. Look, when you have a great pass rush, you can put games away in the fourth quarter. They lost to Arizona, gave away a big lead because they couldn't close out the game. That's the biggest issue, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And listen, what do you do to pass rush? You run at them, and that's what happened against Tennessee. They got a lead on them. They did that the week before, the fumble at the end of the game where Renfrow, I think he gets knocked out, but drops the ball. That game should look different. They
hasn't thrown that football yet since surgery. And the Cowboys in the last couple of years, with him and with others, have been very careful about the timetable, returning people from injuries. So my guess is they would give it another week, even if he felt like he was ready. Week 5 against the Rams, I think they're hopeful for that. But it shouldn't be too long at this point, assuming everything goes well once he starts throwing the ball.
If I'm running the Cowboys, especially if they somehow beat the Rams, right? Wow. Then I'm like, Dak, you know what? Maybe another week you'll be rest up that extra week. What will the offense be like when Dak gets back, Jeff?
It should be exactly what it is right now. And I'm just telling you, Kellen Moore got criticized at the end of last year because their offense got stagnant. They were not physical at the front. So what do? They go draft a left tackle who was playing guard until Tyron Smith goes in there. Now he's back at tackle. They go sign Jason Peters to give them some additional help just training these young guys. But there are a lot of young football players up in the front. It was Zach Martin's up there, who we know has been a stud forever. But they're physical, and they do that portion of the game extremely well. So continue to do that. Get Pollard the ball. And listen, while they're doing this with Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb is developing. Noah Brown is developing. Michael Gallup will be coming back, right? Schultz is going to come back. So they're getting the reps in they need to get in without Dak being at risk. Man, when they hit the ground running with Dak, the offense, if it stays like this, it's going to be very difficult to stop.
Zeke give you 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Pollard with some splash plays. You got the receivers. You got the defense coming at the other team. And Dak, who is a very good quarterback. Roz, what do you think the long-term plans should be for my New York Football Giants with their quarterback, Daniel Jones?
Oh, so, I mean, I thought Jones showed a lot of good stuff last night, but you can't really see it underneath 24 pressures and 5 sacks, right? And by the way, who is he throwing to, right? I mean, now you're going to lose Sterling Shepard for the year. You don't have last year's first-round pick. He's been hurt. This year's second-round pick. So the long-term plan, I really don't think they can have one. I think they need to use this season to evaluate him as one potential option for beyond this season, because you don't know where you're going to be picking in the draft. You don't know what free agency is going to look like. I think they have to focus right now on using the remaining 14 games to figure out who he is vis-a-vis their future, and then lumping him in with all other possible options once the season's over.
It's interesting. He goes from their franchise quarterback to the downshift there. He may turn into a bridge quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? It may be like, you know what? He's holding it together. Here's 2 years while we look for another guy.
But remember, new coaching staff, new front office, not the ones that drafted him, so they want to, clean slate.
Yeah, but do better than him. Do better than him off the scrap heap. It's not bad.
We'll see.
No. Yeah, listen, he kept him in the game last night.
Yeah.
Like you can criticize a lot of different portions. Daniel Jones was not part of the problem last night. He used his legs effectively. And again, think about the quarterbacks. Allen isn't the same guy until he gets Diggs, right? Hurts until he gets A.J. Brown.
Well, they got him Galladay. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So that's your comparison. How do you judge a guy when you ain't got any dudes helping you? I just don't see it. I would let him ride.
A little more quarterback awareness. He doesn't seem to understand that the defenders are on his back.
By now he should know.
The Eagles are still the heavy favorites to win the NFC East, but after last night's win, the Cowboys have jumped the Giants for second-best chance to win the division. Time for another edition of My Word Against Yours, the debate topic today. Guys, can you see the Cowboys actually winning the NFC East? Jeff, let's start with you.
I can. Listen, I picked them before, but with Dak Prescott going out, I was like, I thought they were dead in water, right? I'm reconsidering. This is a talented football team, and defensively they give you fits. They will match up against the Eagles' offensive line as good as it is. Now, the Eagles will have the benefit when they go on the offensive line for the Cowboys, but they can win, man. Dak Prescott gets back. This team starts to grow and develop. Again, I wrote them off strictly because of Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush is 2-0, might be 3-0 after this week, and you're talking about the Rams game, and then this is a team to be reckoned with the way they're playing. And again, I think Dan Quinn, Kellen Moore deserve a ton of credit, but they believe in Dallas.
Did they win it last year?
No.
They did win.
Oh, they did. They won the division last year.
So then, no, they cannot.
So no one can repeat the NFC East.
That's the rule in the NFC East. It's been 18 years. 18 years. 17 straight without. Yeah, it would be 18 years. So no, they can't. But look, seriously, and I do believe in that. But beyond that, the advantage they had was supposedly the quarterback position, right? Everybody's like, oh, the Eagles have a better roster. Dallas has a better quarterback. Philly's quarterback is playing lights out.
Jalen Hurts better than Dak Prescott. I'll take Jalen Hurts over Dak Prescott. I'll take him. I mean, he hasn't done it consistently enough,
for the money?
But I'll gamble and say he will.
The issue for that.
No, even if I paid the same.
The Cowboys got after them twice last year. Yeah, I'm just telling you, there's something about divisional opponents. You get the matchup. All of a sudden, I lived it for 14 years. You just match up well. I don't know that that's going to be the case, but that has been the case for the Cowboys and Eagles.
When they play head-to-head, we'll see how much the gap has closed.
Has it changed? Has it flipped?
So you're saying, yes, the Cowboys could